Hi, my name's A.T. Wiltz, and we're here on the Dan Drake Show. I'm sitting in, and my guest is Geno Geng, owner-operator of Geno TV, and we're going to talk to him about all things Channel 99.
We are. We've got some big news.
We do. But let's start the way I always like to, which is, how did you come to Nantucket? Briefly.
Briefly, 1986,
Mm-hmm.
a friend of mine from college was here and said this place was incredible and that, you got to come out for the summer. I came out in April. I almost left because the weather was so lousy, and I thought, this place sucks. I don't like it. A friend of mine who's still here, Matt Wolf, said, you can't leave. Give it one more week. And I stayed, and that's the end of the story.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's not an unusual story. A lot
No,
of
I
people
know.
sort of come out for the summer, and then they're here for quite a while.
That's it. That's it.
And when did you develop your interest in television?
Well, what happened was I had to, do what everybody else did. I washed dishes at the boarding house.
Mm-hmm.
I started painting houses, and I learned how to paint houses. Started a company painting exterior houses, and then decided that, I wanted to do something else. In college, I studied photography, acting, and creative writing, and I thought, well, I'm going to go to film school. That sounds good. And it took 10 years to save up my money to be able to go painting houses, but then I went. And I didn't know that I'd come back to Nantucket and stay here at that point.
Where did you go to school?
Vancouver Film School.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful up there.
Beautiful. Great school, year-long immersion school. Teaches you everything about the craft of what it's like to be on set, mostly.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so it was really good for that, and I came back, and I Channel 3 at the time, which is now us, we're Channel 99, but at that time we were Channel 3, was like a public access channel with a slide viewer for commercials and very little programming, so I started to show shows on there.
The only program I remember was the trivia contest with the answers on the back of the whales.
That was fun.
That was a fun show.
was a
What was the
good
name of that
show.
show? What was the name of that show?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
It was falling when I
Yeah.
picked up and started making things, but
Yeah.
that's how it all started.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And then when did it switch from Channel 3 to Channel 99?
It
or
went
was there-
3 to 17.
Yeah.
The different cable companies that took over for each other. They bought each other out. When Comcast took over, I was on Channel 17, and then they booted me to 99 about 3 years ago.
Okay.
So
And you've been there ever since, and
there's
growing,
ever since and growing.
and
We're hanging tough. And with the internet the way it is today, and people viewing
right.
things, millennials don't. If you're under 39, watching TV is.
And we're just over the mark, aren't we?
Oh yeah,
Just over the mark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
So you're probably most famous, I think, for the drive around with Geno segment that
Yeah.
that you have.
Yeah, that's
How
right.
did you come up with that?
Hitchhiking. Before I came here,
Yeah.
and between college and Coast Guard service, I read Jack Kerouac on the road, and the book influenced me so much that I wanted to see if America was anything like what he wrote about in that book. So this was 1982, the
Yeah.
summer of 1982, and I took off hitchhiking by myself with $400 in my pocket, and I was on the road for 77 days. And if I spent 2 weeks sleeping outside, people took me home. I mean, I just talked to people. It was the greatest experience of my life. It framed everything that I do to this point.
People are very generous, and thank you very much for your service to our country.
Oh, thank you.
Before
My
we
pleasure.
breeze over that.
Thank you.
And so you said, I met the most interesting people
Well, you
in
would
the
meet
car, so
somebody-
why
yeah.
not do the reverse almost?
Yeah, you could talk to somebody would talk to you
Yeah.
from exit 3 to 8, and they knew they were dropping you off at exit 8, and they would spill their guts to you.
How interesting.
And it was so interesting. So, but it was, yeah, they knew they wouldn't see me again, but it was really the dynamic of looking out and not looking at a camera, looking out and seeing, and just having an open space to open your mind.
The stream
And
of
just
consciousness.
and
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
How wonderful.
Yeah, it was great.
And you don't have to write scripts.
There you go.
No, it's not. That's great.
Yeah.
And now you have the Dan Drake Show, of
We've
course.
got the Dan Drake Show now,
Yeah.
right? Now here's what's happening.
Yeah.
We're going to do a show with you this year.
That's great.
And I'm very excited about it.
I'm very excited about it.
The show will be called Nantucket this week, and we haven't decided what night we're going to do it, but it'll be done either on a Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Right.
We can be flexible.
Yeah.
But what we'd like to do, we want to shoot it live, and what it is it's a show where you and maybe another co-host who sits in with you,
Sure.
Randomly, will talk to people about things that are coming up for that week.
Right.
So it's an event kind of
and
show.
it'll also be in different venues every week.
It will be live, different venues.
Which
We're
is
hoping
great.
to include it in a variety of different restaurants
Yeah.
to start with.
Why not?
That way, you know.
And it's not just about what's going on in that restaurant that week.
Oh,
although,
no.
you know,
No,
come
no,
on
it's
in for,
about what's
you know,
happening around the entire
exactly.
island.
So
Exactly.
film week will be all about what's going on in that film week.
Sure.
You know, and
Or it could be something else
or it
that's
could be
happening
something
too.
else.
We can
Absolutely.
include whatever's coming up for the week.
Right.
We want to bring a face to the event.
Yeah.
And so we'll do that.
And also, I think that we could include, various members of, the Mariah Mitchell people once to come in and talk about the observatory, because I think so few people, I am guilty of this, don't take advantage of going.
Exactly. And here's the thing. After we shoot it, there's a shelf life for it.
Mm-hmm.
Not only for TV. Yes, you can passively turn on your TV on Channel 99 and watch us. But the real kicker that's happening now is getting it online as soon as possible so social media shares it.
And you have a new app for that,
We
right?
have a
So
brand
you can get
new-
it on your
oh,
phone, you
yes.
can get it on your tablet.
We have an app. We're on TV and we're on Apple TV now. So you can watch it anywhere. And we're going to beef up our social media.
Okay, and what's the best way to find that app?
Well,
Or-
go to
or-
my
or the
website, genotv.com.
Okay.
And there's links for both the Android, Google Play, and the App Store, your iOS device.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
So, yeah, it's very exciting. I'm so happy that we're including you
I'm
in our
excited
show.
and proud to be part of the team.
Now, can I just it's tough for me to be interviewed.
I know, I was going to
just
ask
want
you,
to
how
interview
how
you.
does it feel to be on the other side?
That's all right. I'm a better listener than I am talking about myself, actually. So,
But you're
as
talking
far-
about your baby, though. You're talking
Yes,
about your
this is my
product,
baby,
but it
yeah.
is you as well,
I'm
so I understand
so lucky
that.
to be able to do what I do. There's no doubt about it.
And how many
it's a
years have
labor
you
of
been
love.
doing
20
this?
years, August 1st this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
that's
AT.
pretty good.
Yeah. But you're
Yes.
you, can we talk a little bit about
Sure,
you?
absolutely.
You've been here for a long time too.
Came out in '82. Much the same story. Was
Yeah. 82,
with
wow.
a friend from. He was actually in college. I'd taken the year off, and he and a friend of his. We came down here. We lived in Van Arsdale's, up by the windmill. They've just put in like 2 houses on their property. I started working at Arno's. Went downtown in my 3-piece suit. And the job interview was very much like today. Do you have housing? I was like, yes, I do. And they're like, we'd love to have you. And picked Arno's. I was very lucky to pick Arno's. Very lucky I didn't know anything about Arno's because there are many stories which I won't get into.
You sure you don't want to get into them?
Well, he used to sleep downstairs on the booths. This was when they had those
he
booths and the linoleum walls.
Is that right?
But at any rate, so about a week into it, my friend and his college roommate came down with their backpacks and their bikes. It was 11:30, and they're like, "We got kicked out. Your stuff's on the lawn. Can't find a place to live. We're going to the boat." I went, my stuff's on the lawn? What happened? It took me years to find out what the real story was, but apparently the friend had come in drunk the night before. I'd already been asleep, and they accused him of being drunk, and he went, no, we're devil worshippers, which they didn't like.
Oh my!
So Todd gave me $5, and he said, get a cab, go get your stuff, live upstairs. So my first summer, I lived upstairs at Arno's for free, which was, that was the best part of that job.
Man, those days were unreal.
Yeah.
It was all college kids.
Yeah, and of course, those days, too, you know, the shuffle was a lot easier.
Oh.
And it was great because
And
your
it was
winter digs were always, somebody always had a house on the surf side or, right on the water, and it was just lovely.
Where did your interest in acting? You're a
Since
performer.
high school. Yeah.
How would you describe what you do?
Acting, performing. I mean, I've done stand-up comedy. I've done improv. I do I
You
have
do
done
this?
interviews.
Yeah.
I've emceed. I emceed the Daffodil Doggy Parade this year.
Well, you were great at that.
That was a lot of fun, actually, more fun than I thought. But I always tend to have more fun than I think I've done. I've done Readers Theater, Armchair Theater, full productions out here. So
What keeps you here, though?
Well,
why not do it in New York?
I'm trying to transition to New
see.
York.
Everybody does,
the
though,
last
right?
couple of winters.
Yeah.
Well, last winter I was dealing with something else.
Right. Okay.
But
But you're feeling better now.
I feel great.
Good.
You know, I actually just this week had my CAT scan results,
Yep.
and still cancer free. The blurriness around the pancreas is starting to clear up, which is the best case scenario, and all my markers for enzymes or proteins are down.
So you had pancreatic
Had
cancer,
pancreatic cancer,
which is in most cases
fatal.
Fatal, right?
Yeah, 9 to 13 months usually.
What are the odds of surviving?
Well, they say 20% of people survive 5 years.
Okay.
And I said, so what's the data after that? And my social worker looked at me and she goes, we don't really have any data on that. And I went, I see.
How many years has it been for you?
I was diagnosed in February 2015, so it's only been like 14 months.
I see.
But, I'm ahead of the curve, and, knock on wood.
Right, exactly.
I don't, they haven't even said, my doctors were very odd. They didn't want to tell me what stage it was. They're like, well, we don't really talk stages here. And
You mean when you first got diagnosed?
When I first diagnosed. And, of course, then you're on the internet reading about it and just going, oh, dear. But I was very lucky. An actress friend of mine, I called up and I said, I've got pancreatic cancer. Felicity Seidel from New York. And she said, what hospital are you in? I told her Brigham Women's. And she goes, who's your doctor? I told her who my doctor was. She goes, all right, I'll call you back. And she was the first person I'd called outside of family. And I thought, wow, it's true. You get cancer and people just sort of pull away. She called me back in an hour and a half. She said, your guy's great. This guy's better. He's going to see you in the morning.
Good.
And unbeknownst to me, her husband sells medical equipment. And so they have this little inside track. They found somebody who worked there that he knew, and they were like, we've got somebody we care about. Who do we send?
Right.
And, so I was very fortunate. Been very fortunate.
Very fortunate. And now when you go back and you were just there last week,
Yeah.
within days,
Right.
when you walk in, are they like, oh, here comes the guy that's like beating this thing?
Well,
does it feel that way?
It does feel that way, but I've always liked people. I've always tried to make people feel comfortable and like me. And so I always go in there and try to make their day. Because I realize it's got to be the toughest job, just watching people, and they have all sorts of cancers, but just going through the ringer. And you can look at people and you just see it in their eyes and the hope is gone,
right,
and
right.
To work around that, my hat is off to, hospice people, people who work in the hospitals. They were amazing.
Absolutely.
And in my entire treatment there, I think I saw one employee at the Brigham and Women's and the Dana-Farber. One was surgical, one's the treatment. I think I had one person who was having a bad day. Everybody else, from the cleaning people all the way up, were just so nice, kind, gentle. Can't say enough about them.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm feeling up to doing
you
a
look
new
great.
show.
You
this
look
week in Nantucket.
You will. Look, we should let people know we're planning to start it right after Memorial Day.
Right.
Okay, so look for it after that.
And it'll
that
be
time.
weekly.
It'll be weekly to start, and we'll see where it goes.
There you go.
If it kicks off and we can do a weekend show, why not?
Why not?
Right?
Absolutely.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything you would like to add? You should give your website one more time.
GenoTV.com.
Yeah.
They know about it.
Okay.
And if you want to advertise, we've got a great advertising special right now. You can see it. You just click on advertise. It's right there, and it's...
You don't want to mention it?
Nah. It's all
Okay.
right. I'll be out and about talking to folks.
Well, that's
next
true.
week.
Usually you are one of the most seen people about town.
Yeah.
Because you go downtown, have your morning coffee,
I
sit
do.
on a bench,
Yes.
take a meeting.
Right. Take a meeting like you and me.
Well, we did that
Okay.
the other day, and I thought, this is one of the things that makes this place special, is you can take a meeting on a park bench
You bet.
You know, maybe not in August, but
Yeah,
then
we'll
you
find
go to
spot.
the beach.
That's it.
All right, Geno Geng, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
being
AT.
here. My pleasure. An honor to interview the interviewer. So
Thank you.
I want my little critique afterwards.
You'll get it.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.